Welcome back, Year 10, and welcome to another GCSE revision lesson. The overwhelming votes on the poll I sent out was energy, and so I've got some exam-style questions from one of the GCSE physics textbooks we can do together. So just pause the video on these questions and attempt them yourself, and then you can continue to watch the video for the answers and solutions and my thoughts on the questions too. So there's the first part, that's the second part, so just feel free to pause the video whenever you're ready. Alright, let's jump straight in and let's go for red so you can see it clearer. So it says, the table below shows the percentage of the total electricity produced from each of 6 energy resources in 2 different countries. So coal, oil, gas, so fossil fuels, nuclear, non-renewable, but no carbon, hydroelectric and wind, both renewable. So what percentage of the electricity in country 1 is generated from non-renewable energy sources? Well, we've got non-renewable are coal, oil, gas, nuclear. And so we need to add all of these up. And so just popping into my calculator, 49.9 plus 2.4 plus 20.3 plus 19.6. So a massive 92.2% non-renewable. So it says both countries generate the same amount of electricity per year. Suggest which country will emit more pollution by generating electricity. Well, let's have a look. So the big polluters are coal, oil, gas. And so clearly country 1 has much more coal, oil, gas production. So we'll put country 1, much more fossil fuel usage. Country 1 is considering reducing the amount of coal it burns and generating some of its electricity from biofuels instead. Give one environmental impact of using coal. Give one environmental impact of using coal to generate electricity. Well, I'll put huge CO2 emission, which leads to global warming. It says, suggest one impact on reliability that switching from coal to generating electricity using biofuels may have. Well, biofuels, you have to grow them, so biofuels have to be grown. What if the crop dies out? What if it's a pretty harsh winter? What if there's a flooding? The fields could get flooded. And so biofuels less reliable. It's not how you spell reliable. Less reliable than coal, as fields, for example, could be damaged by the weather. Also, biofuel only available when the crop is available, whenever the harvest is. And you could store it, but storing coal is much more efficient because nothing happens to it when you store it. Coal was once the most commonly used resource for generating electricity in the UK. Coal is a fossil fuel and a non-renewable energy resource. Define a non-renewable energy source. So, technically, non-renewable is cannot be replenished. cannot be replenished during during human consumption timescales. So I guess another way of saying that is, they cannot be made at the same rate of which they are consumed, or of which they are used. So suggest another use of coal as an energy resource other than for generating electricity. Suggest another use of coal as an energy resource other than generating electricity. Generating heat. Let's go with that. To heat homes. Because we use sort of mostly gas for that, or sometimes electricity. The use of coal has decreased in recent years, so that it is no longer the main fuel for UK power stations. Suggest one environmental reason why the use of coal has decreased. Well, it's the same as the one above. The use of coal causes lots of pollution, mainly CO2, huge amounts of CO2 release, therefore leading to global warming. A new coal power station is proposed for an island in Scotland. The island has a number of exposed hills and regularly experiences windy weather. Suggest 2 renewable energy resources which could be sustainable alternatives to coal to produce electricity on the island, and explain how they are suitable. Exposed hills, what is exposed to sunlight, as in they're not in the shadow. Exposed hills leads to solar, and obviously windy leads to wind turbines. Give one reason why the renewable alternatives may not be to entirely replace the coal power station. Because they're not reliable. So renewables not reliable. Why? Because it's not always sunny. And it's not always windy. And so it's difficult to store the energy. To store this energy. Where fossil fuels super easy to store. All right. So, I think we've given those a good go. And feel free to mark those as you follow through.